Your dog's bowl is still full. It's been there since this morning. 3 weeks ago, they were at the kitchen door before you even opened the bag. Now they walk over, sniff once, and leave. You tried the favorite treat, warming the food, hand feeding. They came over, looked at it, and walked away. Most people at this point do one of two things. They change the food, or they wait, figuring the dog is being picky, bored, maybe just off today. Both of those responses make sense. Neither of them is actually looking at what the body is doing, because when a dog stops eating, the bowl is almost never the story. The body is. And the body is already talking. In the mouth, the posture, the way they move around the kitchen, before anything more serious starts. One version of what this can mean is the one most owners don't catch until it's been happening for days. And by then, the window for reading it early is already smaller. Most of the time, the first signs are not dramatic. They're small, easy to dismiss, easy to file under weird day. Your dog walks to the bowl, sniffs, stops, not because the food smells wrong, but because something in the body interrupted the step between sniffing and eating. Then you notice a lip lick. A swallow that seems harder than normal, maybe some drool at the corner of the mouth, pacing in and out of the kitchen, standing near the bowl without lowering the head. Walking away, coming back, walking away again. Those details matter. Because a dog that truly doesn't care about the food leaves and moves on. A dog that keeps coming back is still interested. The body is just not letting the moment turn into eating. You see hesitation. You think indecision, but sometimes hesitation is discomfort wearing the same face. Sometimes that lip lick is not anticipation, it's nausea passing across the face. Sometimes that swallow is the throat telling you something doesn't feel right. The body usually whispers before it screams. This is the whisper stage. Your dog walks to the bowl, smells it, seems almost ready. And then, lip lick, one swallow, turn away. That pattern, interest followed by retreat, is the first thing to understand about nausea in dogs. Because a dog dealing with nausea doesn't always look like a dog who feels sick. They can look like a dog who can't make up their mind. Here's a distinction most owners miss. A picky dog is still excited about treats. They might ignore the bowl, but the treat bag? They're at your feet before you finish reaching for it. A dog in the early stages of nausea often ignores both. The appetite isn't selective, it's gone. That's a different body sending a different signal. In 2012, veterinary behaviorists at the University of Pennsylvania tracked pre-nausea behavior in 34 dogs, mapping what happened before any vomiting occurred. The lip lick, the increased swallowing, the pacing, these showed up consistently 12 to 18 minutes before the stomach made its final decision, not after. Before, the body was broadcasting. Most owners weren't reading the frequency. So if you see interest mixed with lip licking, harder swallowing, drooling, or that restless orbit around the bowl, the food probably isn't the problem. The stomach may be. But there's something else, and it looks almost the same until you watch one detail. Your dog moves toward the bowl, picks up a piece of food, drops it, tries again, or sniffs with what looks like real interest, and then freezes at the last second, head still lowered, not eating. That is a completely different picture from not wanting the food. The appetite is still there. The act of eating is the part that hurts. Some owners notice their dog, who ate dry kibble for 3 years without a second thought, suddenly seems more interested when they add warm water, or only finishes when the food is softer. The read? The dog has gotten picky. What the body is actually saying, this texture hurts less. That's not a preference shift. That's pain management. When owners miss that distinction, they cycle through flavors and brands for weeks, while the dog is dealing with something in the mouth or throat that has nothing to do with the food itself. Researchers at the Royal Veterinary College in London found that oral pain and dental disease were among the most commonly under-identified causes of appetite change in dogs, because owners looked for obvious signs, like pawing at the mouth or yelping, and dogs rarely showed those. What they showed instead was exactly this: approach, hesitation, and a preference for softer food. One behavior, two completely different explanations. Then there's the third pattern, and this one is different from the other two. This is the dog who doesn't just ignore the bowl. They ignore the entire feeling of mealtime. No quick trot into the kitchen when the bowl touches the floor. They walk in slowly. Or not at all. Maybe they look at the bowl once, then go back to wherever they were lying. And that's where you need to stop and look at the whole picture, because now it's not just the food they seem less interested in. Maybe it's the toy that's been in the same spot all morning. Maybe it's you, standing at the door, calling their name and getting a look instead of a dog who gets up. That's the shift. Lane 1 and Lane 2 are the body struggling with a specific thing: the stomach, the mouth, the act of eating. Lane 3 is the body struggling with itself. There's something you can try here as an observation, not a test, just a clue. Make a small cup of plain bone broth, warm, not hot. Set it down. Bone broth is easy to smell, easy to swallow, almost no effort for the body. A dog in the first two patterns will often show at least some response: a sniff, a lick, a moment of interest, if they walk away from that too, without much reaction at all. That's worth noting. Not because bone broth proves anything, but because a dog that can't be reached by something that easy is telling you the signal is coming from somewhere deeper than the bowl. That's the body saying it needs something other than food right now. If you've been changing the food every few days, adding toppers, trying every trick you can think of, that's not a failure. That's what it looks like when you care and don't yet have the right framework. Now you do, because one missed meal doesn't mean the same thing every time. The combinations change what you're actually looking at. Picture two different scenes. Your dog skipped breakfast, but when you picked up their leash, they were at the door before you finished clipping it. Eyes bright, ready. Now picture this: your dog skipped breakfast. When you picked up the leash, they lifted their head from the floor, looked at you, and put it back down. Same behavior at the bowl. Completely different body. Lip licking, repeated swallowing, drooling, or pacing alongside the refusal. Something in the stomach is pushing back. Refusal paired with picking up food and dropping it, or a sudden preference for softer textures, something about the act of eating itself has changed. Refusal paired with less energy, less responsiveness, less of the dog you recognize when you walk into the room. That's the signal that moves the conversation somewhere else. Not just, why didn't my dog eat, but what else is the body doing right now? If that framework is already changing how you read your dog, the lip lick, the leash test, the first 3 seconds at the bowl, subscribe. There's a lot more of this language to learn. Tomorrow morning, when you put the bowl down, watch the first 3 seconds, because that's where everything in this video lives. Not in the bowl, in those 3 seconds before anything is decided. Your dog isn't making things difficult. Their body is running a system check. Every small signal is part of the readout. The lip lick. The piece of food picked up and dropped. The slow walk past the bowl and back to the corner of the room. The dog who didn't come when you called their name from the kitchen. None of those moments are random. They are the body doing the only thing it knows how to do when something feels wrong. Telling you, in the only language it has. Your dog doesn't know the word for help, but they know how to ask for it. Keep watching them.